Hey Buster, Rob Zbart, Landmark Mortgage Planners. I know you've had a busy week. Just wanted to give you a quick little illustration here and why sort of leveraging that property could be of good interest to you. Essentially, the money's locked up, right? That's the whole concept, is that you've got, $1.5 million sort of sitting there parked and idle, earning zero interest. So if you extracted that, and I just wanted to show it to you on my screen here. All right, so if we showed a $647,000 mortgage to keep it under the Fannie Mae limits, did a 30-year fixed at say a 6% interest rate, that would put your principal and interest at $38.79. So essentially you're paying $38.79 a month for 30 years. So if you were to keep the mortgage for 30 years, which you won't, but just for math's sake, let's look at this. You'd be paying $38.79 times 360 months. So essentially you'd pay back principal and interest of $1,396,473. And then of course we'd have to subtract out the principal amount that you were given to find out, which was $647, to find out how much interest you paid. So you paid $749,473 over 30 years. So if you divide that by 30 years, you get $24,982 per year of interest. So even though we're talking about a 6% 30-year fixed interest rate, if you were to divide $24,982 into the amount that we lent you, the $647,000, the actual annual cost of borrowing is 3.86%. So now what happens is, instead of that money being locked up, there's an expense and a cost to it, which is $749,000. But if we were to take that 647 cash, or let's just say out of that 647, say 6,000 of its closing costs, and you walk away with 641,000 American. Put 641 here. Now you've got it going to work for you. Ideally in an investment somewhere that's going to compound and earn interest over time and reinvest those profits. So it may not be in this particular, land deal, but just hypothetically just wanted to show you, let's just say that the market was earning whatever you invested in 7% over time. Of course, like the S&P over the last 25 years averaged like 10.5% a year, but let's just use 7% just to be safe. That means that money, 641 compounding at 7% over 30 years, would turn into $4.8 million. If we subtract out what you started with, which was the $641,000, that's a profit of $4.2 million. So essentially, over a 30-year period, you're paying $749,000 of mortgage interest to make opportunity of $4.2 million in upside. So we often use this as just a simple illustration, like how do you want to pay for it? We say this is our money, costs you $749,000 over the term, so that your money, you can take that money and have it liquid and not locked up earning zero and turn it into $4.2 million. We can shave it down as well and say, well, let's just pretend that it was, over 15 years. So if we were to say, okay, we're still taking a 30-year mortgage, but what does that money look like in 15 years? Not as attractive, obviously, but really you start to look at what does the market really bring, 8-9%. So if you put even 8.5% instead of 10.5%, you're doubling your money. So you're using leverage. You're spending $749,000, and really you'd probably take this down to a 15-year term. You're paying more on the payment. Obviously it's a lot more, $5,400, but in 15 years, even if you brought this back down to 7%, you're paying $335,000 of interest on a mortgage over 15 years to net $1.1 million. If you were to truly get what the S&P 500 gets, which is 10% over time, 10% in that figure would bring that to $2 million. So, our money costs $335,000. You make $2 million somewhere in the market if it compounds at 10. I usually still like to use 7.5, something in that range. But again, $335,000 of an expense on interest for a $1.2 million upside. So just wanted to share that with you, sort of the concept and, the idea behind why you would actually extract that money back out of that Georgia property and put it into something that earns a lot more over time. So give me a shout when you get a minute, 352-875-6907. Hope the training and camp has gone well. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Bye.